Today we're looking at the top 5 Led Zeppelin riffs, easy edition. The first riff we're going to start with today is Immigrant Song. Now this riff is pretty simple. It only uses one note over and over again, and that's an F sharp. And so slowly we're going to look at it in this rhythmic pattern. Now the only thing that might be kind of tricky is the rhythmic pattern. So we start with our pointer finger on the 2nd fret. I like to use my pinky on the 4th fret of the D string, and it goes like this, slowly. You see my other fingers, and what they're doing is they're actually muting all the other strings so you don't get, that kind of sound like that, so you get nice and clean. Now the next riff we're going to look at is basically the same thing as the A blues scale. If you even play it, it's going to sound like the riff. Most of you can probably already guess what Led Zeppelin song is. The second one we're going to look at is Heartbreaker. Slowly, we're going to start with a quarter bend where you put your finger down here and you pull a little bit in the down direction. 4 fast A's. Another quarter bend. Now the third riff we're going to look at, A Whole Lot of Love. Now this part has some actually really hard ideas in it, harder than I thought when I first started, but overall it's a relatively simple riff. So you start here on the 5th fret. Now if you really want to make this pro and really sound authentic, you want 2 Ds right here. Like that, so you start with. And now the rhythmic pattern is kind of hard for some people. I see a lot of people playing incorrectly. You start with a power chord. And that kind of rhythm right there. So slowly. Now let's take a look faster. Third riff we're going to look at today is Misty Mountain Hop. Now this one is really repetitive, but it's still really awesome. So you're going to start here on the 3rd fret and you're going to slide up to the 5th. So you have this sound. And now you're going to do what we call again a quarter bend and then 2 octaves. So again. And we'll speed that up. Now the last and final riff that we're going to take a look at today is Black Dog. Now this again is based off of the pentatonic. Just like every other Led Zeppelin riff, there aren't too many that aren't pentatonic based because they're a blues based band and inspired by the blues. So one thing to know is your pentatonic, which we've talked about in previous videos. This riff is trickier because it's longer. We start in a 2/4 time signature, which means there's 2 quarter note beats per measure, or 2 beats per measure. And then we go to 2 measures of 4/4, which means there's 4 quarter note beats per measure. And then we go to 5/4, which means there's 5 quarter note beats per measure. Now this riff is quite tricky rhythmically because it's switching those time signatures in order to make everything feel in sync with the groove. We start slowly in our pentatonic 5th position, A minor pentatonic 5th position. And then we have a quarter bend. And then we have a triplet. I hope these riffs have given you something cool you can use in your shows or just enjoying yourself playing at home. And as always, make sure to practice along with the recordings. Now the cool thing I've talked about before is you can actually go to these recordings on YouTube and listen to them and play along with them at a quarter speed, half speed, 3/4 speed, and it's a great way to play. Because what's better than playing along with the original recording the way it was intended to be by the creator? So make sure when you're practicing it, practice it that way.